Hey everybody, something slightly different today. I normally have a tidy up periodically when I'm doing builds. I stick some music on and just get on and get it done. Well, I thought, why don't I stick the GoPro on my head and I can talk to you about some things that have come up and are interesting about the build. And my methodology as to why I do things and why I don't do some things. So, please hit the like button if you enjoy this one, and I'm just going to get on and have a tidy up. Anyway, so the question I got was like, well, it wasn't a question, it was just someone said in a comment, completely correctly and genuinely, you should get a service manual for the bike. It will save you, more than the cost of the bike in the long run. And I completely agree with them, but I'm not getting one. And I know that sounds dumb, or maybe I should get one and just not use it. Obviously, if you want the torque specs and that, it's handy to have one for that. But I tend to find those online. You normally can find them, the manuals and stuff as PDFs. Although that has almost bitten me in the butt in the past when I looked at the wrong model of DRZ and realised because the suspension was different, the clamping force bolts were different. Tank bolts. So, as I'm saying, I'm not saying this commenter is wrong, and I'm also saying that I don't think that you shouldn't go and buy a manual. You definitely should. But I have a reason why I don't want one. And that is that if you learn how to fix bikes by having a book that tells you exactly how this bike comes apart and how everything works, you'll learn how to fix bikes from books. When it comes to the day that you don't have a book, are you as prepared to do that work, to find a problem and take a bike apart, as you are if you find out how things work and take them apart that way? Like knowing how the fairings came off this bike, for instance. I didn't know exactly where all the clips and stuff were, but I could see generally, and I looked and I worked around my way of getting it out. Okay, my life would have been easier if I'd undone these two screws in here rather than this one here, because of the angle. And this is foam, by the way, so it's not quite as bad as it looks. But there actually really isn't a straight line in there with any sort of screwdriver, so my methodology of taking it apart seems to have been efficient. Although someone thought it wasn't, because I think he basically said his bike was half broken, so it took him like 10 minutes to get the fairing off. I'm guessing it was like held on there and there and it just went bonk. If I learn from books, it's fine to learn, but actually problem solving your way through something is far more powerful, I think, and useful than looking in a book every time. I just saw that was missing and was like, I wonder where that is. No, that's too big, it can't be that one, which means that belongs on another kit. These, by the way, are some click and ride indicators because I've broken one, or one has broken on the DR, and I lost a couple of these. I mean, the way I've learned how to do mechanical stuff, other than being shown by like members of my family in my younger years, is just trial and error. It's just trying stuff, a continual need to learn things. And I always just, once you've learned one skill, you step it up and step it up. Like, I first learned how to MIG weld, and then when I was like, okay, well, I can MIG weld, well, then I want to learn how to TIG weld. And then because I had the ability to do arc welding, I thought, well, I'll learn how to do that as well. And as it turns out, arc welding has been really handy in recent things. And a plasma cutter for being able to just chop stuff up. Do want to do more with that at some point. It's just YouTube kind of took over everything. It's going, well, as you may know, if you've been watching this channel for a while, and if you don't, I'll quickly explain. I was a chef, then I was also doing YouTube. I quit doing that. I did social media for a company. That went a bit south because the company went under, but came back up, thankfully, because I liked the place. And then I was like, well, I'm going to go it alone, and I started doing the Spicy 110 Metalworks, where I made clocks out of motorcycle sprockets and things, and trying to do that and videos at the same time didn't really work, because, well, simply I didn't have time to do both. And if I'm making loads of clocks but I'm not making videos, I haven't got new customers to sell clocks to. And if I'm making loads of videos, I'm not making clocks, so I haven't got any to sell. It got me into months or even years of just working stupid hours and making myself sick. And I realised I couldn't do it. So I was like, that's it, I've got to put all my time into one thing. And the best thing I've got is YouTube, and it's what I love. It's my true passion. Making videos, interacting with you guys. I still see YouTube like the old ways that it used to be motovlog in the early days. Not that a lot of people remember the fact that I started before nearly everyone. I'm an OG, man. This isn't the rap game, it's not how it works, is it? I just think it's better to learn by trial and error and learn the fundamental skills to do things, rather than learning exactly how to do one particular job with an instruction manual. Same reason I don't use instruction manuals when it comes to putting furniture together, because once you've put enough of it together, you never need the instructions. And the instructions, as it turns out, are very often wrong, or they'll tell you to do it in a way that just makes no sense, really. That makes no sense. Why would you do it that way? Oh yeah, this has been amazing. This is this new. I've got video on video lights for YouTubers. It's these LED panels, these that I use for filming, and then with a combination of those and the small rig clamp mounts, I've got the ability to put a camera pretty much anywhere, right over here, up, down. I've also got my slider, which I've made a video on, which, because I didn't think about this, out here it's quite cold and damp, so the wood expanded a bit. I really need to take this apart and bore these holes out bigger. It does work, it's just not as good as it used to be. And I know you might say put wax or something on it. It didn't work. Did not work. Anyway, do you agree with my thoughts? I say, I'm not telling anyone who's new to not buy a manual. I definitely think you should, because you will likely break something if you don't learn from a manual, or at least use it as a safety net, as it were, to make sure, okay, that I am doing the right thing here. But I really do hold a lot of value in problem solving and working it out for yourself. And I mean, that's the way I've learned all the different skills that I've learned, from, you know, photography to video making, everything. It's all self-taught, because school wasn't very good for me. It didn't teach me anything, really. My dyslexia is about 20 times better than when I left, since I left school, when I was able to just educate myself. And I do feel like that's not going to fit. Yeah, you will go in there. You're not supposed to be in there, but you can live in there. Yeah, I mean, you always start out with such nice ideas, don't you? And then you need one. Oh dear. Right, get out of the way. There we go. Oh, links to my Amazon store to those, by the way. I am fairly organised when it comes to tools. Fairly. I can also understand that if you have the manual, to a newbie, it's less daunting. As I say, because I've been doing stuff since I was younger, I had the... It's like, if you learn how to do one type of cooking really well, you'll be able to apply most of those skills to other types of cooking. So when it comes to mechanical stuff, once you start learning the principles, like the rules, you can apply those to... It's like, it just works on everything. You learn one thing about one thing and you're like, oh, well, that means that such and such and such. It goes the other way, backwards and forwards. That's the best way to learn. Maybe it's the slowest way to learn. No, the best way to learn is under a mentor who's done that, or been through years of learning from other people. But the whole system of basically apprentices is dead in the UK, I think. I mean, I know they're increasing it, but what I mean is so many people did it in the past. And at the age that I was looking to do something, I did look for apprenticeships in all sorts of different places and just couldn't find one. There's nothing. Or if there was, it was like, basically, they don't want to pay you. I needed money. That was the problem. I know May's going to ask. He's absolutely fine. Nigel is doing great. As you can see, he has been protected by not being used. This was supposed to be my clean, YouTube-y, nice garage background for doing tool reviews and stuff, and then, you know, you get a mark here and a burn there and you start not caring so much. All I need to do is sand this. And I've got some really cheap grey primer and just respray it. But I can't be bothered. But I can be bothered to remove that, which felt a staple. That would have had me. Right. I would love to know what your opinion is. As I say, I think you should get manuals. But that's why I never did, and I don't want to get one now. I know it's a smart thing to do, but I feel like it's better for me in the long run. If you enjoyed this video, I know it's a bit different, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, or if you're not new here and you haven't subscribed yet, do it, because I'm on my way to 100k and I'd like to get a button on the wall. And if you'd really like to help this channel, please join my Patreon, or consider grabbing some of the merch, like this hoodie, from the links in the description. There's all sorts of things. And we've recently also got the laser cut DRZs, these, you know, the ones are very cool, and the coasters from 1810 Designs. Right. Bye bye.